an update about the Nmplol Milena lawsuit, as well as a potential lawsuit against Henry Resilient. Now, I will be completely honest. Henry Resilient is based in the United States, and as a lot of you guys know, the anti-slap laws of America pretty much give everybody the right to slander and defame any public figure. Why? I don't know. That's why IDubbbz got obliterated in this lawsuit, because in Canada, they don't have those same anti-slap laws. I think Nmplol is pretty fucked when it comes to dealing with Henry Resilient, because Henry will just lie because he's a simp, and that's pretty much his only motive in life. And it is quite pathetic because Henry wants to be Nick, which is a shame because that's going to play into Nick's ego, which is already overinflated. But let's see what he has to say here. And also, Soda Poppin', my God, it looks a lot better with this hat than his normal hair that makes him look like a lesbian.
But in this case, I don't think the
fuck Milena. Well, actually, no, don't put your dick in crazy. Don't worry. I actually got yelled at Milena because Nick, I gave him, this is a real story. I gave Nick a pair of silicone feet, and Nick was thanking me because he's always wanted to come on feet, and Milena would never do that. So he told me that he blew his load on the feet that I gave him like 10 times. So Nick, I'm glad I was able to get your rocks off. Hopefully you were feeling better. Hopefully that relieves some tension, let you clear your head a little bit, and hope you're doing good.
lawyer, I think Milena wanted to just do it herself.
Well, I think. Well, either way,
the lawyers are not like evil villains like you'd see in a Marvel movie or whatever.
No, lawyers absolutely are evil villains because they gas up people who have no cases whatsoever to believe that they do in order to suck as much money out of them as they possibly can.
Either way, like they'd have to ask her permission to do so.
Yeah.
If she was like, nah, it's whatever, then it'd be whatever.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's any logic behind it.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems, it just seems out of emotion, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think when a woman is offered 50-50 and then she says, no, that's not enough, I need 60-40, you're out of your fucking mind, especially for someone who's done less than 5% of the work. But that's what society has conditioned our women to think, that they do nothing and they deserve everything. And it's pathetic. You know, you want to talk about the wage gap? Really? So you're telling me that if a man and a woman walk up to McDonald's right now, but yeah, let's Google it. Let's find out. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for a case. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000. According to women, a man should make $8.50 and a woman should make $6. Look at this. Entry-level positions at McDonald's, like crew members or cashier, pay the same for males and females. Pay is not based on gender. Duh. Because obviously the fuck it isn't. But these dumbass liberal men and their liberal girlfriends have brainwashed each other into saying, well, actually, women get paid less than men for the same jobs. No, they fucking don't. Women get paid less on average because they don't get hired for as good of positions because they don't do as good of a fucking job. Pay is based off of performance, not gender. Obviously, if you still believe that there is a wage gap based on gender, you might be a liberal.
I'm not really too worried about it, really.
No.
Now the bigger issue is what's going to happen is because someone who should be focusing on their own life decided to get my court documents and then leak out of context things, and that's going to be annoying because there's so many people online that hate me and they're going to.
Those are things that have already gone through
and that's
court.
People don't understand because people are just really not, they don't really get the process. Like I really truly felt like in court that I was arguing with a Redditor because everything was just this out of context thing that I would have to give context to. But the good news is,
bro, imagine my dumbass in court and I tweet out in all caps, your arrogance will be your undoing. and I have to explain to I had to explain to a judge that me typing in all caps, "Your arrogance will be your undoing," in fact, is not a death threat. It's a quote from Lord Jaraxxus from World of Warcraft. It was literally fucking nuts. It was nuts. But they take advantage of the fact that these judges are old. They don't, wait, what is this? Tectone pay gap. This should be called Tectone had a good thing about gender pay gaps 5 years ago. What is this?
It's not men's fault that women make less money, because think about what jobs they pick. Like, for example, men pick high-paying jobs like lawyer, doctor, and engineer. And then women pick jobs like female lawyer, female doctor, and female engineer.
Yep.
You know? So, like, whose fault is it really?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I don't know who that guy is, but he is very fat and very ugly. But he makes a great point here.
In court, I can't get like downvoted by a whole bunch of bots, so they don't see my comment.
Yeah.
But they actually have to listen to like the context. And that's what happens. So all these things have already been picked apart. They've already been scrutinized. The context has already been provided to the proper channels, and the decision was made in my favor.
Yeah.
People now, like, they're like, "Oh, this guy was hiding money for sure." No, I wasn't. These people would have found it if I was. You know, like, "Oh, I can't believe Nick only made this much money." No, that's not what I made. That's what I had at the end of everything.
Yep.
We spend a lot of money. Like, we make a lot of money. We spend a lot of money as well.
True.
You know, which is just poof. You know, so a lot of it goes. I do have.
Yeah, we spend a lot of money. And this is what I said over and over and over again. Milena was a fucking parasite. And I guarantee you NMP is relieved that she's gone, because Milena had convinced herself, and so did the internet, had convinced her that she's good at running events, when in reality, all she would do was spend hundreds of thousands of dollars bringing big streamers together for events and then saying, "Oh, I did such a good event." Bro, all you did was just pay tons of money that wasn't yours. That's not impressive.
Haters out there, like, people.
"Dude, I can't believe this woman made a good stream for $250,000. It's like, yeah, I fucking sure the fuck hope it is.
You know, especially this deadbeat dad from Ohio put that in. He doesn't want me to see me succeed either, which is crazy, because he's going through his own insane case where his wife is accusing him of the craziest stuff. Now, I'm not going to cover it because I don't care. I have my own content. I don't need to, like, go. I don't give a fuck. But it's really interesting to find that the side he's taking is the side of the wrong. He's just wrong the entire way, while he's getting reamed himself. You know, which is quite interesting to see. And I'm
glad NMP is so soulless, because you really kind of have to be when dealing with a crazy fucking ex. Like, you really, and I'm not gonna lie, you lose a part of yourself when dealing with a crazy fucking ex, especially one who Nick, in my opinion, treated very well. You know, you see this chick, you took care of her for so long, you did everything in the world to make her life better, but then the moment Nick says, "I don't want to be with you anymore," that thing that you took care of, that thing that you nurtured, completely turns against you, and you realize you were with a psychopath the entire fucking time. And the worst thing is when you realize that halfway through a relationship. So I sympathize with Nick here. He really does have to shut down a little bit emotionally, because otherwise he's going to get fucked up by it. And it sucks, because the internet always takes the side of a woman, because they're pathetic retards. But I really hope Nick does get through this.
Might be taking legal action against this guy in the future. So, true.
I mean, he should have known the only white women that date black guys are not mentally sound.
Wow. Yeah, depending on what my lawyers say, we might be doing that.
You know, it is a long time running for a lot of I guess vultures, internet
truth Bahamut
vultures that like to claw away. Because there's also like a lot of Twitter accounts, all this other bullshit. Yeah, a lot of them should just straight up get sued.
Yeah, there's a lot of laws being broken. Like, you know, we'll see if it ever gets there. Like, just, you know, across the board, which is crazy, because you think about streamers and a whole here. Like, we really have the easiest job in the world.
True.
It could not be easier. Like, once you get viewers and people that like you, it is smooth sailing. Now, that's the hard part, is getting to that point. In an actual community.
True.
We get to this point where we have this and people still fuck it up.
I know, because they're all retards. Anyways, it sounds like everything's going good with Nick, which is great. And I would love to continue covering this, because right now, only Nick's ops are covering this. I'm neutral about Nick. I'm neutral about Catchy. I'm neutral about a lot of people. But I like to cover these things very fairly. And what I heard was no lies. And I hope to God he gets solace in this ordeal.